life. This is an idea that I have for my Danish site, and I'm just kind of learning piece by piece, I guess. But this particular Dennis Lehane book, Sacred, you'll have to read it backwards, I guess. I know it doesn't help to do it upside down, but you see the little post-it there. When I read a book, I like to learn from it. And I guess I especially like to learn from fiction books because I've always felt a little bit like fiction is for fun. And for a long time in my life, until just maybe 2 minutes ago, I haven't felt like I deserve fun in my life. And so um, by choosing special places in books that I like, uh, it's fun for me if I feel like I've learned something out of it. So, on the very bottom of page 186 in this book, Sacred, um, the 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 male star, as you call it, of the book had noticed this that his partner Angie had looked at Trevor Stone, who's trying to hire them with sudden recognition, and it's the recognition of one grief upon meeting another. She cared about his grief. I have too. And any lingering doubts I'd had disappeared when Trevor Stone showed us the shrine he'd erected to his lost daughter. But it hadn't been a shrine, had it? And um, I guess I wanted to read it as far as he hadn't surrounded himself with photos of Desiree because he needed to believe she was alive. He'd filled his room with his daughter's face so his blood could feed off his hate. Now, I always find it very amazing when people kill their families, um, or look to do that, look to have that done. And so that was kind of a reminder to me. That was earlier in the book that this was going on because it wouldn't be natural for me to think that he was feeding off his hate. Um, Now, on page 274, the comment is see, I got two brains, Patrick. And Patrick says, you mean two heads. And Esmeralda would say, you used the wrong one tonight, which is why she wants to cut it off. He snorts, okay, yeah, I got two heads, sure, but I'm talking about brains. I got two brains, I do. He tapped his head with his index finger, squinted at me. One of them, the normal one, is no problem. But the other one, that's my cop brain, and it never shuts off. It wakes my other brain up at night, forces me to get out of bed and think about something that was bugging me, and I didn't even know was. I mean, I've solved half of my cases at 3 o'clock in the morning, all because of this second brain. Must be tough getting dressed every day, huh? With those two brains. Nah, you're still green. You'll know someday. I skipped a little bit there. This second brain, man, it's a pisser. Say you meet this person, a potential friend, a lover, what have you, and you want this relationship to work, but your second brain starts working, even if you don't want it to, and it sets off alarm bells, instinctual ones, and you know deep in your heart that you can't trust this person. Your second brain's picked up. But what if it's me who set you up for a hit, Jay? He looked at me once, one eye squinted shut. Then I'm screwed, I guess. And he laughed. Anyway, this is a way that a friend who ended up dead shared a message, an important message with him, was by leaving something that had come from his second brain. I think we all have some suspicion that we have a second brain. Some of us have learned that we have a brain in our gut, we have a brain in our heart. that we have as many or more actually brain cells in our heart than in our head. Anyway, it's kind of an interesting thing. Okay, and then on page 282, if we accept this premise, I said, then we're accepting that she's totally without conscience or morality or morality or empathy or anything which makes us humane. Yeah, and if she is, then she didn't just become that way overnight. She's been that way for a long time, like father, like daughter. What's the best type of lie in the world? I asked Angie. You tell me. Because he didn't set up that murder attempt on the Tobit Bridge. She did, Angie said in a near whisper. Desiree killed her mother, I said, and tried to kill her father. No wonder he's pissed at her, the woman beside Angie said. No wonder, I replied. On page 384, there's a remark about sending someone to jail for the rest of their life. Now, I don't know what that is yet, but I know how Desiree works, and she wouldn't waste 5 minutes on your flaccid genitalia if you weren't giving her something big in exchange. I just thought that was kind of interesting. Being being a woman who's uh, gone over the other side of getting older, it's nice to know that there's some things that can be said for men as well. I don't mean to be cruel. I find some things a little bit humorous. So I intend to share about a dozen books that I've read in the last 2 or 3 months in that way. They're obviously not ways that probably would thrill a man too much. They're not the high octane part of the detective stories or whatever other stories, the thriller stories, the maybe kind of science fiction stories or whatever, but rather what I've learned from them. I hope you find me and enjoy them if that's the kind of thing that you could like. Thank you.